All right, today we're going to crack the code on how to talk to AI. And this isn't just about typing in a question, It's really an art form, and we're going to show you exactly how to become a master at it.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You ask a chatbot what feels like a super simple question, and it spits back an answer that's, well, just plain bizarre. And your first thought is, ugh, this AI is broken. But what if the problem isn't actually the AI? What if it's us?
See, it turns out getting those brilliant, insightful answers from an AI, it isn't just about what you ask. It's all about how you ask. So let's break down exactly why that is.
And here's the thing. A lot of those strange, unhelpful, totally off-the-wall responses, they're a direct result of the instructions we're giving it. We actually have way more control over what an AI says than most of us realize. And the key to unlocking that power, well, it has a name.
It's called prompt engineering. Now, I know, that sounds super technical, but don't let the name scare you off. Seriously, think of it less like you're coding and more like you're becoming a master communicator, learning to speak the AI's language so you can get exactly what you want out of it.
So, how do you actually do this? How do you become a master AI communicator? Well, it all starts with a few simple tricks that make a huge difference in the quality of your results. Let's dive in with the absolute basics. All right, so the single most powerful trick in the book. It also happens to be the easiest one. Show the AI what you want. Don't just tell it. So instead of just describing the task, give the AI a couple of examples to follow. It's a simple idea called in-context learning, and trust me, it works wonders.
And yeah, there's a fancy name for this. It's called few-shot prompting. You're basically giving the model a few shots, a few examples to learn from right there on the fly. It's kind of like handing a new assistant a finished report and just saying, hey, make the next one look just like this one.
Now, what's so cool here is just how simple this is in practice. Take a look at this translation example. You show the AI the pattern. Maison becomes house. Chat becomes cat. So what happens when you ask it for chien? Well, the AI has already figured out the game. It sees the pattern, and bam, it instantly gives you dog. No complex code, no confusing instructions, just a clear example.
Okay, so examples? They're fantastic for simple tasks. But what about the really complex problems? The ones that need some actual, reasoning? Well, believe it or not, we can actually prompt an AI to think a lot more like we do, guiding it from simple steps all the way to complex strategy.
First up, we've got a technique called chain of thought prompting. And this one is absolutely brilliant. It's basically like asking the AI to show its work on a math problem. So instead of just jumping straight to the final answer, it forces the AI to lay out its entire reasoning process, step by logical step.
And you want to know the best part? Look how ridiculously easy it is to trigger. You often just need to add a simple little phrase like, let's think step by step to your prompt. And that one little nudge, it forces the model to slow down, to actually articulate its logic, and it dramatically cuts down on mistakes when it's tackling something trippy.
So chain of thought is perfect for problems that have a nice, clear, straight line from A to B. But life isn't always a straight line, is it? I mean, what about brainstorming story ideas or trying to solve a Sudoku puzzle, where you have to explore a bunch of different possibilities at once?
For that, we need to level up to an even more powerful method, tree of thought. So if chain of thought is like a single train on a track, then this is more like exploring a dense forest. The AI can actually follow multiple paths of reasoning at the same time, like branches on a tree. It can test out an idea, see if it's a dead end, and then, and this is the cool part, it can backtrack and try a totally different path. This makes it an absolute game changer for any task that requires strategy or creative problem solving. Think about a complex math puzzle like the game of 24, or maybe trying to develop different plot lines for a novel. Tree of Thought lets the model explore and weigh all the different options before it commits to the best one. So let's just nail this down, right? The difference is key. Chain of thought, that's your train on a track. It's linear, it's direct, it's perfect for logical sequences. But tree of thought, that's like exploring a maze. It's for testing all the different routes and backtracking when you hit a wall, all to find the absolute best path to the solution. All right, so we can make an AI reason better. That's huge. But what about what it actually knows? See, an AI's knowledge is basically frozen in time based on when it was trained. And that means it can be totally out of date or just have no idea about your specific company or project. So let's look at how we solve that. And this is a massive problem, isn't it?
How are you supposed to get an AI to tell you about last week's news or analyze your company's latest private quarterly reports without having to spend millions of dollars retraining the entire model from scratch?
Well, the answer is this incredibly clever technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or for short, RAG. And the analogy for this one is just perfect. It's like giving the AI an open book test. Instead of forcing it to rely on its own limited memory, you connect it to a live external library. That could be the internet, your company's internal database, whatever you need.
And the process itself is just beautifully simple. First, you ask a question. Then the system automatically goes out and retrieves the most relevant, up-to-date documents from that external library. And finally, it hands all that fresh information to the AI along with your original prompt so it can generate an answer that's both accurate and perfectly in context. This really is the secret to keeping an AI's answers fresh and relevant.
So with all these powerful new techniques, this brand new job title basically exploded onto the scene, the prompt engineer. But the future of this role, well, it's evolving just as fast as the AI itself. And that raises a really big question. Is this a specialized job, or is it becoming a universal skill?
And man, has it been a wild ride. Just a year or two ago, prompt engineer was one of the hottest, highest-paying jobs you could get in tech. But as the AI models themselves get smarter and better at figuring out what we actually mean, the need for a super specialized AI whisperer is already starting to fade, and something way more interesting is taking its place.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The crucial point, the big takeaway, is that prompting is shifting from a niche career into a fundamental modern skill. I'm serious. Just like knowing how to type or how to use a search engine became essential, the ability to clearly and effectively communicate your ideas to an AI, that's becoming the next form of digital literacy. It's a skill everyone is going to need.
Which, leaves us with a truly fascinating kind of mind-bending question to think about. In a world that's increasingly powered by AI, a world where the sum of all human knowledge is at our fingertips, is it possible that the most valuable skill is no longer having all the answers, but knowing how to ask exactly the right questions? We'll leave you with that. Thanks for joining us.